Well, we are now tracking a breaking input on the same issue where the cash haul at Judge's House is all set to echo in the Parliament. Congress leaders Manikam Tagore and Renuka Chaudhary have issued notice to discuss the huge cash that was recovered at the Delhi High Court judge's residence. These are the latest inputs that we are tracking from the ground. Now, joining us on the broadcast is our colleague Pallavi. Pallavi, the controversy surrounding the massive cash haul at Delhi High Court judge's residence is all set to reverberate in Parliament. How will the debate in Parliament unfold, and what are the likely responses from the government?
On Friday, actually, Jairam Ramesh had raised this issue inside Rajya Sabha, but I think it's the first time where notices are now being given, adjournment notices in both the houses. Renuka Chaudhary, Congress Member of Parliament from Rajya Sabha, and of course, Manikam Tagore, the Lok Sabha Member of Parliament, has also given a notice where they say that given the seriousness of the matter, it should be treated as urgent. All the business of the House must be adjourned, and there must be a discussion on this. Well, we'll have to wait to see whether the Vice President and the Speaker actually have a discussion on this, but the government has been in a huddle since Friday. The government has waited for the Supreme Court to initiate an investigation, and as Ananya has been reporting, there has been a panel which was set up by the Supreme Court which already submitted its report. But I'm sure at 11 a.m. when the Parliament reconvenes in this new fresh week, this is a matter which is going to resonate on the ground, with alarm bells having been sounded with a large haul of cash which was found at the residence of Justice Varma.
Right, Pallavi, thank you so much for bringing all those details. We are getting yet another breaking input on the same report. Now, the in-house panel can conclude the probe soon. These are the latest inputs that we are tracking. The committee has to examine the reasonableness of the responses that have been given by Justice Varma and other stakeholders in this entire controversy that has unfolded. Now, as the in-house panel probes the cash haul controversy, all eyes are on the committee's findings and recommendations. Joining us on the broadcast is our legal correspondent Ananya Bhatnagar to weigh in on the entire situation. A very good morning, Ananya. Ananya, what are the key aspects that the committee will examine while accessing Justice Varma's responses as well?
Well, definitely, first of all, Koina, I'm at the hotbed where this whole controversy is broken out. This is the 30th Tughlaq Road, where, in fact, Justice Varma actually resides, and where that fire had actually broken out, which has now, engulfed the whole judicial circle. Now, what is coming out latest is that the in-house panel, which is comprising of the three Chief Justices from the Karnataka High Court, the Himachal Pradesh High Court and the Punjab and Haryana High Court, are, likely to conclude their probe pretty soon, because the only two aspects that this committee has to go into is whether or not Justice Varma should remain a judge or not. Secondly, whether there is a deeper probe or a need of a criminal investigation agency or a criminal enforcement agency is needed as far as the investigation into this is concerned, because the committee would only have to check as to whether there is a reasonableness as far as the statements and that has been there by Justice Varma, because the most of the part that the committee had to do has already been done by, in fact, that first interim report that has been submitted by Justice Devendra Kumar Upadhyay, the Chief Justice of the Delhi High Court, and also by the questions that had been asked by the Chief Justice of India, Justice Sanjeev Khanna. So very categorically, this committee would now go into the kind of responses Justice Varma has put in, and it is likely that the committee could meet Justice Varma again. He could be called in to answer some of the doubts or some of the loopholes that the committee could actually feel, and later the committee could actually submit its report. But the committee would definitely not be going into the criminal aspect of this particular case. That definitely remains to be seen as to whether the committee would feel that there is a criminal investigation that is needed, and then a law enforcement agency like the Delhi police could actually come in. But the maximum recommendation that the committee can actually go in is only on two aspects. One, whether Justice Yashwant Varma should be remaining a judge or not, and secondly, whether a deeper criminal investigation is needed into this particular case. So we'll have to wait and watch as to how things pan out, but definitely this fire on March 14th, on the day of Holika Dahan, is something that has engulfed the whole judicial circle. A lot of questions have been raised on the integrity and the independence of the judiciary is concerned. However, the Supreme Court has somewhere or the other tried to save its self by being very, very transparent as far as publishing these reports of the interim report of the Delhi High Court Chief Justice, Justice Devendra Kumar Upadhyay is concerned. or the kind of responses that Justice Yashwant Varma has given. So the Supreme Court has somewhere or the other tried to save itself, tried to safeguard itself by the lens of transparency that it has shown. But whether Justice Varma would remain to be a judge of the High Court or not is something that is in fact, the committee's hands.
Right, Ananya. Thank you so much for bringing in all those details. Now, Anvit Srivastav joins us on the broadcast. A very good morning, Anvit. Anvit, the probe's outcome will have far-reaching implications, not just for the Indian judiciary, but for the public's trust in the institution as well. But with the multiple narratives coming into play, what more details are we gathering on this front?
Morning, Queen. See, right now we are outside 30th Tughlaq Crescent, and this is the house where fire broke out on the night of 14th March, and all this controversy erupted from this particular residence, from where we are reporting. In a rare public disclosure, recently the Supreme Court has also uploaded reports and photos and videos of the incident, of the allegations of unaccounted cash that has been recovered. Other than that, Chief Justice Khanna has also set up a 3-member panel for an in-house inquiry. But and the Supreme Court has also demanded answers from Justice Varma. 3 main answers that they have demanded is the source of unaccounted cash, the identification of the person who removed the burnt cash on the morning of 15th March, and the preservation of all the mobile data, including call logs. But important to note here that Justice Varma has unequally denied, and that denial is also something that needs to be looked into. While he has said that the videos of burnt cash and same was not found on site when he particularly inspected, he has said that he unequivocally states that neither he or his family members had stored any cash. Another major denial of his is that this room was a storeroom which was accessible by official and unofficial staff as well in the house. And then he goes on to say that the Registrar cum Secretary to the Delhi Court of Chief Justice had submitted a report to Chief Justice on March 16 which does not mention recovery of any cash. So these are the important denials that he has made. So these are important points that he has said on his part of clarification. But an inquiry has been ordered. Meanwhile, on Friday he had also been transferred back to the to his parent High Court in Allahabad, which also had another controversy because the Bar Association of High Court in Allahabad had come out and said that they won't accept him coming back there. So a lot of things to be looked into, but now that the probe has been initiated, there's also one point to be looked into, whether or not the cash that has been accounted, what is the source? Source will remain the main thing when as far as the inquiry is concerned, and also that had there been any kind of declaration regarding that cash, because the amount has not been disclosed either in the report or elsewhere. So these are something that needs to be looked into, and the inquiry, all eyes are now set on the inquiry that is to be taking place, and the revelations that will be made by the inquiry.
Right, and with very crucial details you've been pointing out in that report. Now, as the in-house panel digs deeper, the fate of Justice Varma hangs in the balance. We'll continue to track more updates on that, but let's take a look at the reactions on this report first.
जज साहब पे भ्रष्टाचार का सवाल नहीं उठ सकता। हो सकता है जज साहब ने किसी से उधार लिया हो, वो पैसा रखा हो। ये तो कुछ पैसा पकड़ा गया है। हमने आपने कई 100 करोड़ पैसा पकड़ा देखा, लेकिन आज तक उसका पता नहीं कि किसका पैसा था।